Hello, welcome to the G.I. Joe New News Classified Reviews. My name is David T. Allen, or if you would like, Super Dave 817. If you would like to see more of this content, please like, share, and subscribe, and hit the notification button for future videos. Thank you and enjoy.
Hello, welcome to another episode of the G.I. Joe New News Classified Review. I am David Allen, or if you like, Super Dave. Thank you for joining me in the chat, everybody. I appreciate you. We have got a banger of an episode today, and it is Pythona. Look at that beautiful lenticular package, 172 in the classified line. Absolutely fantastic figure. I did not expect that we were going to get this, but as we were going along with the Cobra La theme sub-faction of the classified line, we got Once a Man Cobra Commander, we got Nemesis Enforcer, Nemesis whatever the other one his name is, and I heard rumors we're getting Pythona, and we did. I was like, okay. So that means we've gotten 3 out of the 5 main characters for Cobra La. So what is next? And then we got the name only drop for the Royal Guard, and then he showed the Royal Guard off in November, and now we've pre-ordered it, and now it's showing up in stores. There's only one more left of the 5-figure Cobra La sub-faction set, unless they want to go into some creepy crawlies like denizens and scientists and that type of stuff like that, which I'd be all in for, but okay. But we just need one more main one, and then we're good, in my opinion. Welcome to the chat, Clement. Good morning. Thank you. So Pythona is one of those mystery figures that we never got a vintage O-ring version of her when she came out, but there was a FSS modern 4-inch figure released through the club of Pythona, and then Super 7 did their version of Pythona, more of an animated style O-ring. So this kind of fills in your O-ring hankering, I guess, to add her to your Cobra La sub faction set if you want. And she comes with a gem of that size, solves all my problems. But that figure didn't really solve all my problems. Michael G. Fleming, good morning, all. Thanks for joining us. Good morning to you. 610 Yojo Daddy. What's up, Super Dave? Cobra, la 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 la. One of the best overall sculpts in the line. Yes, definitely is. If last year wasn't so great with so much other stuff, Pythona would have been higher in my top 10 items of the year. But because there was so many good items last year, she kind of got buried a little bit with a lot of the other stuff, I guess. Let's see. Sean Jones, good morning, Super, and Clement, and everybody else. And everybody saying hello to everybody in the chat. So it was a shame because last year there was so many good figures. It was hard to pare it down. Had to do in my top 2025 video. I had to use 2-packs and HasLabs and this and that to try to fit everything in because I could not get everything that I wanted in that top 10, and it was very tough. So I don't know. Pythona kind of got the short shift last year, unfortunately, because of that. But she was an incredible figure, and we're going to go into her in a little while. But I'm sure you guys can all agree that she was a really cool figure. And if it wasn't for all the really good stuff we got last year, and I'm talking about just regular figures like Buddha, Armor Cobra Commander, Monkey Wrench, Slice and Dice. There's some just regular characters that you don't expect to be as good as they are. Phenomenal figures, HasLabs, you name it. It was a very tricky year last year with figures, and it's a shame because I would have loved to have put in this Pythona higher up on my list, but she did not get as high as I would have liked. We'll see how the Royal Guard stacks up this year, though. Everybody's starting to get it. in stores at Targets. I hope you guys have been getting your Royal Guards, going out there and getting them. I pre-ordered mine too from Hasbro Pulse, so I'm just happy to get it that way, and support the line that way. So good luck with the Royal Guard hunt. So we're going to go into a little bit of the history. Oh, I wanted to show one more thing. Before we got the Super 7 O-ring one, that one there, a friend of mine, someone that's going to be actually at my convention, he did an exclusive version of Pythona as an O-ring about 5 or 6 years ago. And it was a limited quantity LaCroix's Toys Pythona figure. And she's really, really nice, I must say. I think he did a really good job with this figure, and I was very, very happy to get her. I'm going to pull her out of here. And this is before we got the Super 7 one. But it's, oops, I just dropped her. Sorry. Come back up here. I kind of almost like his version of her better because she's a little darker. She's a little creepier. She's got a little bit more detail to her. So I really like her a lot. There she is. And then I have her cape and her ponytail in here in her package. Actually, there's her ponytail right there. Don't fall. There. So there's her ponytail. So I'll put that back on her. It fell off. Oops. Get back up there. So I really like this figure a lot, and she looks really cool. And I think she's definitely a distinct, more detailed version of Pythona. See if I can get there so you can see her face. Can't really see her face that well, but she's really nice. I like her a lot, and that's why I got her. I also got the Once-a-Man Cobra Commander that Matt LaCroix also did, the limited version of that that he did of her, him as well. So, but I was glad we got the legitimate versions from Hasbro. But I do like these; they're really cool figures. I'm very happy that we got them. So nothing against them. It's just I prefer to get the original versions, like the legitimate Hasbro versions, if I can, you know. But these are pretty good, I must say. I like them a lot. There. So I just wanted to show her a little bit. And then there's obviously the 4-inch modern and the Super 7. The Super 7 I thought was a little lacking in that. I don't think there's enough paint apps on there. I think they could have added some darker paint apps on her costume. I like the fact that she comes with a gem and she's got the ponytail and her face print looks cool and she has a cape and everything. So it's okay for animated O-ring style figure. They did come with limited accessories and stuff, so that's all right. I felt that she needed a little bit more paint apps on the body. That's the really downside to that figure. So we're going to go into a little bit of the history of Cobra La and Pythona, because it is a very interesting history with Cobra La and Pythona. So first we're going to go to Volume 3 of Creating G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero by Dan Klingesmith Jr. So first off, we have Cobra La. There's Cobra La. We got two different pieces of artwork. This one, I believe, is by Dave Dorman. Yep. Then the other one is another pencil piece of art by Dave Dorman. So both of them are done by Dave Dorman, who is a line artist at Hasbro at the time in the late 80s for G.I. Joe, the brand. Alternate names and a year release 1987, designed by Ron Rudat. So Ron Rudat designed Cobra La. That's very interesting because he did most of the design work from 82 to 87, with the exception of a handful of the vehicle drivers. So Cobra La, it says, Now, this goes into a little bit of the writing from the movie because certain people worked on this in the movie first, and they pulled it from the movie into the toys, which is very rare for the G.I. Joe brand. Normally, it's the other way around. It starts as a toy, and it goes into the cartoon or comic or whatever, but it started the other way with Cobra La. It started in the G.I. Joe film, and they pulled it to the toys. It says, Cobra La, when Buzz Dixon started to work on the inner workings of that world of what would make up Cobra La, he shared that he wanted to create a world made up of more organic than technological organisms. He shared that in his mind, the citizens of Cobra La were very long lived. Centuries, probably not thousands of years, and had a very stable hierarchy society where everybody and had a place and knew it. Consider it an aggressive blend of samurai Japan and the novel Brave New World. The idea of having a safe haven or location for stranded Cobra troops was influenced by Larry Niven's known space series, according to Buzz. In the series, there is a species of plant called booster trees that are seeded throughout the galaxy as biological booster rockets to help stranded spacefarers get back into space. Very interesting. So we're going to skip over Cobra Globulus and the Royal Guard, and we're going to go to Pythona. We already showed Nemesis Enforcer. Let's see. I think Pythona might be in the unproduced section, if I can find her. Let's see, unproduced section. Maybe? Where is that? No, I can't find Pythona. She's not in the unproduced section. I thought she was in this. Now I have to go find where she is. Yeah, she's not in here. There is an unproduced section that has Pythona because she was not a vintage figure, so they didn't put her in the main thing. But there's an unproduced figure of her, so I have to try to find that volume that has the unproduced figure of Pythona. But then we have the vintage package of the Pythona, the Cobra La there on the right there, and you see the three figures that were included: Globulus, Nemesis Enforcer, and the Royal Guard, and some artwork. And that is through Collecting the Art of G.I. Joe, Volume 3, 1986 through 1987 by R. Carson Metaxas and 3D Joes. So I'm going to have to hunt down that unproduced artwork of Pythona to show you guys, because there's quite a few pages of unproduced artwork with Pythona, but I thought it was in the same volume of that, and it wasn't. So I didn't do my due diligence well enough to find that. So we'll just move on to her figure. And there you go. And it has that beautiful lenticular box art there with the packaging, and John Jiang's artwork and beautiful design. And so then we have her designations. We have the target work, and we have the QR code, and it does go to Hasbro.com, but it's very limited on there on Hasbro.com. So Pythona has been making a lot of appearances in the Skybound comics currently in Void Rivals, Energon Universe Void Rivals. She did not have a comic book appearance, I don't think, any earlier than that. There might have been a club comic with her during the time that the FSS figure, the modern 4-inch figure, came out, but I don't recall if Cobra La appeared in the club comic or not. She may have, she may not have. Then, like I said, she's been appearing in Void Rivals regularly for the last year. In the Energon Universe comics. So if you do want to see her in comics, you can get the Void Rival comics, and she's in there. There's a lot of mixture of characters in there. There's some Transformers like Jetfire. There's Transformers like Springer and Hot Rod. There's Cobra Law, Royal Guards, and Pythona. There's a whole bunch of different things. There's the Quintessons are in there. There's a bunch of different stuff. Wheelies in there, I believe. So there's a lot of Transformers. There's some Cobra Law stuff, and there's some new stuff as well. They're in the middle of the Quintessons war at the moment, but Python is right in the thick of that war. So if you want to see her dealing with some really cool stuff, that's a good series to pick up and read. The Void Rivals series through the Energon Universe Skybound imprint of the G.I. Joe brand. So then let's look at her designations and see what it comes up with on there, because this is going to be a weird one. It says covert ops. It has hand-to-hand combat. It has the I, which I believe is the secrets, like undercover, and then they have the infiltration. So she's basically kind of a spy for Cobra Law. She's like their kind of a secret spy person that can get into any place and get information for Cobra Law, and she does in the movie. She has a really beautiful sequence in the movie that she does, and it's one of the best sequences in the film. Where she infiltrates Cobra's Terradrome and headquarters. Good morning, Ultra Mensch. Thanks for joining us. So then we have the beautiful Zhang Jiang box art with Pythona and some call-outs there with her in the background with a bunch of her gobbledygooks monsters and stuff like that. That looks really, really nice. It's very difficult to kind of see because it's a lenticular box, but there are Cobra Troopers back there. There's the clam that Cobra Commander ends up in. There's different weapons she's got in her hands. She's got the Fang head there. What else is back there? I'm trying to see what is back there, but with this lenticular art, it's hard to see. But there are definitely some Cobra Troopers. So it's like her scene when she's attacking the Terradrome. So this is 172 in the classified line. We've now made it to 172 from 00 Snake Eyes all the way up to 172. We've done 23 retro vintage package figures, and we've done 6 legacy and 60th anniversary figures. So we're moving right along. And so we're going to here's the front of the package, and it says up here, Cobra Law Pythona, and it does not give any designation other than Cobra, and it has the loadout with all the equipment and everything on there. Looks really beautiful. Zhangjiang packages are absolutely beautiful. I'm wondering if all the packages like connect, if you could put them all together and they create like a big diorama or something. That would be kind of cool if they did. For me, Cobra Law is a Cobra Na, my least favorite aspect era of G.I. Joe. Oh, that's a shame, Ultra Mensch, because I really like Cobra Law. I like monsters and I like creepy crawlies and I like all the fantasy sci-fi of G.I. Joe because it makes it a unique line with all that. Yes, you have high technology with stuff like all the Cobra armaments with Destro. You have Cobra fantasy with the whole Cobra Law, and you have space with a lot of the stuff that they've done with space science fiction with those elements. There's so many different layers to GI Joe that it's not one thing for one person. It's many different things from many different people. It appeals to a wide audience of people, and I think that's why GI Joe has been such a successful brand over 62 years now, because of that variety. But that's perfectly valid. If you don't like it, then that's fine. Uh, that's your collecting pattern, then that's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But I do like it. I think it's a really interesting element of the brand. So there's an entire interior artwork there on the background of Cobra Law and Pythona there in that. You can hardly see what's on that art, but it's quite quite interesting. I'd like to get a better look at that. Actually, I'm going to put the box down here. Um, I like the premise, just not in G.I. Joe. Not everything is for everyone. Yep, you're 100% correct. That's a completely valid point of view. I'm a few minutes behind due to a work phone call, but Pythona's, along with the rest of Corpola, features in the last of the G.I. Joe Transformers crossover miniseries Devil's Due did. Black Horizon, I think. Yeah, I think you're right. I think there was a Devil's Due miniseries that had Pythona and Corpola. You're right. I was forgetting that one. But you're correct, Michael Gene Fleming. I should have got that out, but I forgot. I googled her first comic appearance, and it only shows Skybound. It doesn't even show Devil's Due. So I completely that completely slipped. So I have to hunt that comic down. I do have it, and then showcase it. And I also have to show those unproduced photos of Pythona. That are in Dan's book series. So I'm gonna have to do a follow up to this video because I want to get both of those items. So here's the Pythona figure just right out of the package. All of Corella is now a badass instead of so gimmicky, thanks to Classified and Energon, where Python is even more hardcore. Yeah, she's definitely hardcore in Void Rivals. There's no doubt about that. And I agree with you on the Classified, because these things look phenomenal. They put a lot of money and a lot of effort and time into making them perfect. The fact that they made her cape where it's ripped, where she goes through the doors that capture her in that sequence where she's infiltrating Cobra, is like perfect. And then when you put the hood on her head and it has like the pointy top to it, I guess you have to take the ponytail. I don't know if you have to take the ponytail off or not. I'm going to try to put it with that. No, I guess you have to take the ponytail off for the hood to go on properly. But the fact that they did that whole thing and spent the money on cloth goods, which Classified does not do cloth goods that often, but they did with her, and it's phenomenal. Look at this. Look, they have the pointy cape that goes over her head like that. Um, there, like that, and it's like perfect. Let's see if I can get this. Oh, there. So you can like do do the running, uh, do the running with her with the hat and the cape and everything on her. It's fantastic. I like it when they add story elements to these figures to make that world better and to get the story more complete. I think it's incredible when they do stuff like that. So I'll put her ponytail back on. So she has this really cool ponytail with her hair and the little bitty purple deco there on that scrunchie or whatever, and it plugs right into her head, the top of her head. Um, you can see that beautiful face print that they gave her with all the makeup and all the details on her head. I'm gonna see if I can change this my lighting slightly so you guys can get a better look at her. Is that, yeah, that's better. You can get a little bit better look at her face, and she's got so much little details on that face. It's unbelievable. Now this is the normal face, the standard face. There's several heads in here. Like I said, there's a fanged head on the package that she has. She has some green little deco jewelry on her face. She's got these really beautiful like snake eyes. It's hard to see with the lighting, but if you get really close, you can kind of see those snake eyes, the face there. Really, really nice. That is some fine uh, detailing with that paint app in there, I've got to say. And the sculpt on the face is so serious and so cool looking. Hey, good morning, Lone Dragon. Thanks for joining us. Everybody's saying hi to Lone Dragon. When it's just her eyes showing with the hood, it's a perfect cartoon rendition. Yeah, it's fantastic. If I was like a photography person or a person that did dioramas or whatever, I would definitely like create that door sequence, and I would do some fog, and I would do some dry ice, and I would have her running in that scene with her arms going out like that and her legs and everything. I would do that scene. I think it would be totally awesome. Just to do that running scene right there through that door with the fog and the ice and everything, I think phenomenal. But I'm not a photography person. I can imagine this stuff, but I'm not a photography person, and I'm not a diorama person either. But for you guys that are, do that and send me a picture of that. Let you guys do all the work, and I'll just sit back and take all the credit for it. All right. So there's also way more layering of her costume with the purples and the pinks. This is what I wanted Super 7 to do. I wanted a little bit more color in her body and stuff like that with all the like the mesh, the kind of like organic like mesh that's all over her legs and her arms and her chest. It's like she's wearing like a membrane type of a costume, and it's really cool. And I like all the little details in the hands as well. She's got like black fingertips on her nails, and she's got a little deco in the hands with the costume. They It's phenomenal. Her whole chest as part of that membrane leading up to her neck. Look at all the details in that area up there. This is just a phenomenal figure, and all the details go all the ways around the body, and it's in the feet as well. You can see her toes in there with the costume and stuff like that. It's just they spent so much effort into this, and there's also a little bit of like the fabric has a little bit of a like a snake type feel texture to the cape as well. I don't know if you can see some of that texture in the cape, but it's like a really beautiful like leathery texture to give it like a snake skin type material. It's really beautiful. um I do wish they had given her the claw hands without the green drip. I know it's from the movie scene, but for display, I wish it was just the extended claws. Yep, that's the number one thing that a lot of people have had a problem with this figure. It's like practically a 99.9% perfect figure, but that's the one thing, to have the claws without the slime or the ooze or the gas or whatever. That's the one thing that everybody wants. And from what I've seen of those videos myself, I want that as well. But this is our opportunity to go through this and check it for ourselves and see what we think about that. Um, where is my cursor? Um, it, I trade her for Flash in a heartbeat. Ultramensch, you're an OG-13 person. That's fine. Everybody has different play patterns. I'm not going to poo-poo anything that you want. You're entitled to that because you're the one spending the money. You're the one that's buying it, and it's for your collection. So you're welcome. And then another gem of that size solves all my problems. There you go. I don't know. I kind of like the gem in the Super 7 one a little bit better. What do you guys think? Do you like the gem in the Super 7 one better? Or do you like the gem from the classified one better? Which gem do you think is better? I kind of like the gem from the Super 7 one because it's more see-through. There's a more clear design on that, and it looks more, it looks closer to the one in the movie. This one's a little too foggy and too plasticky for me. I don't know, and it's hard to see in the lighting. But there you go. It's not clear enough. So I kind of I think that's a little bit of a disappointing thing, but it is a small thing. All right, so here's that vampire head that I told you guys about. there's that vampire head with her teeth sticking out and her like sharpening them, ready to attack somebody or bite somebody. It's basically the same print, except it has the mouth open and it has the vampire claws out. Um, but as a figure, she looks great. Yeah, definitely. Thank you, Ultramensch. I like Gem from the holograms. Yeah, I like Gem from the holograms too. I don't know if you can see her. You can kind of see her over there. The Loyal Subjects Gem right there in the corner of my video. There, I got the Loyal Subjects Gem. So let's see, what else do we have here? We got lots of creepy collies. This is the stuff that I like. Look at this. Look at this little tentacle thing. With teeth and his mouth open, and he looks like a really grisly little monster. Wow, that's pretty cool. So she has almost like a little pet that comes with her, and the tentacles move and they go up and down, and they have a little bit of flexi material on there that you can adjust them. So it's like she's got a little bitty critter. It kind of looks like a smaller version of the guy from the Stranger Things. Those guys, you know what I'm talking about? Those critters from Stranger Things with the big faces. It looks like a little smaller version of that. Then we have the clam with the tentacles, the little clam with the tentacles there, with some deco on the tips and some little pink on the tentacles with brown on the clam there. There. So put that over there. And then we have the sticky clam. That's what she said. So we have the sticky clam with its mouth open, and we have some pink deco inside of that. And the outside is like brown there. So that's interesting, the sticky clam. And then we have a big cockroach. It looks like a big cockroach with a little bitty mouth and some tentacles there. He kind of looks like he's a relative of that big squidgy octopus thing that was with Nemesis Enforcer. There. So we got another critter. So she's got a whole zoo here of critters. Then she's got these little eels that she throws. Look at these big eels. She's got a whole zoo of animals and critters and creatures with this thing. Look at all this stuff. It is incredible. And the detail is phenomenal with these eels. There's like some deco in the mouths and the eyes, and it is wild. I did not expect all these critters with her. I should have expected it, but I didn't. So that's a lot of the critters. And then she's got two blades, two like eel blades, where they're side by side. These little eel blades that she can use to cut people open with and stuff like that. They're like venom type blades, so they're pretty cool. And then she has the hand with the gas. There's the hand where she releases the gas. So she must have some sort of like venomization gas inside of her that she releases, and it goes on this hand here. There. And then she has the infamous hand with the poison, which I wish it was just the claws and not the poison, but there it is, the gas, the poison hand. So she's got two different hands with two different elements coming out of it. I got the ribbon clam balanced in her extended hand in my display. Oh, very cool, 610 Yojo Daddy. So then she's got two fists, two additional fists for fighting. Two little additional fists for fighting. There. And then she has another ponytail where her hair got chopped off in a portion of the movie. They did the other hair where when she was going through the doors, I guess, it gets chopped off. So they did the extra hair. And those are all of her accessories that I can find in that. there. And so let's see. I'm gonna put the vampire head on her. I'm gonna take that hair off. I'm gonna put the vampire head on. I'm going to put the hair back on. I'm going to try to do the that sequence with her running with the cape and stuff like that to show you guys. Because her arms are kind of like wide open, like that. And she's kind of like running, like that, with her cape like that. Rah! Very, very cool. That is awesome. I know you're probably kidding about Gem Lone Dragon, but I wouldn't mind her in Classified to go on my Cold Slither shelf and the lead singer of the Misfits. Yep. I think that would be really cool if they did Gem and the Holograms and the Misfits. But I don't think we're going to get that. The fact that Loyal Subjects is doing them, I don't think they're going to do it. I have a feeling because a lot of the brands that they're doing, like Mask, Loyal Subjects is also doing Mask. So I don't think we're going to get that Miles Mayhem and that Matt Tracker in Classified. I would love to, but I don't think we're going to. When they did the Transformers Void Rivals, they did the figures with the Transformer Jetfire as 3 3/4 size. They didn't do them as classified size. And then Cops is being done by Big Bad Toy Store Studios, whatever the name of that is, and they're 6-inch scale though. And then Super 7 is doing their O-Ring Reaction Plus, and they're doing the Visionaries, and they're doing the Micronauts. So all those properties, it would have been great if they were all incorporated into Classified. The same with Inhumanoids. I would have liked to have gotten that as well. If they were all the same size and we were able to get like that all those properties in Classified scale, the Classified line would just be the best G.I. Joe line ever. If they could do it all the same scale and do all those properties in there, man, it would be incredible. Let's see. Evil Dookie, good morning. Hey, thanks for joining us. Hello. Everybody's saying hello. Evil Dookie does some really cool dioramas and videos and stuff. So you guys should check some of his stuff out. He does a really good job. Maybe Evil Dookie is the guy that I need to talk to about doing my Pythona diorama. Evil Dookie, do a Pythona diorama where she's running through the doors and the cape chopped off her. The cape got chopped off by the doors and she's running. There's all that like fog coming through the doors and stuff like that. And she's doing that. Do a diorama or some photography artwork with that sequence with Pythona. I think it would be really cool. So what do you think I should do? Do you think I should just leave her claws the way they are, the open gripped hands? Or what do you think I should stick in there? You think I should give her one of these things? Maybe I will. I'll give her one of these things. But a lot of this stuff is like for certain points in the movie. So it's like you can't really use it all the time. So it's weird. So there, I gave her one of these blades at least to show that. But a lot of the accessories that she comes with are particular scenes in the movie. And then she doesn't even come with this. This is something that should have been given to like Zartan or somebody. So a lot of these accessories are a little weird, but it's okay, I guess. Now I can give this to Zartan and the Dreadnoks instead. But yeah, she's really good. I'm gonna put her on a stand. I'm gonna see if I can get her on a stand so I can get her to do that scene. Um, let's see if this works. All right, so I got her on my stand and I've got her like running. So hopefully she'll stand up and she can do that scene with this because her arms are like flayed out and stuff like that. And she's got her cape flayed out behind her. So I'm going to put all this stuff back here, there, there. There she is. We got Pythona ready to go. I got her on her stand and she's ready for action. And she's not putting up with any kind of baloney in that scene. Let's see. Knock County for life. Yep, Knock County for life. Because you're in Alabama, right? Dave, I always thought Knox were in Florida was their area. 610 Yojo Daddy, because of the Everglades and stuff like that, and all the stories that take place down there. Dave, I'm working on a Cobra Law themed dio for myself, but if you email me, I can brainstorm something and probably have it done by Joe Fest. I think that would be cool, Evil Dookie. I would love to see that, definitely. Hello, everyone. Dude Stuff, good morning. Thanks for joining us. Everybody saying hello. There you go. Yeah, I think it would be cool. That's just me. I don't know. Um, that's one of my is when she's running through the doorway and the door like chops the cape off and there's all that like mist and smoke with dry ice you could use and have it like with a little green coloring and it's like a green dry ice smoke coming through there and she's running and she's like I love that scene. It's so fun. Evil Dookie does his Knock County custom dreadnoughts is what I was referring to. Oh, I gotcha. Um, so she has lots and lots of accessories. So there's nothing wrong with the accessories she comes with. She got so much, but I would have liked to have those large claws and some of the stuff is only for certain scenes. So if you do her as photography and dioramas, you would have to use each of those things in those sequences, So I would have liked to have seen that clam that she jumps out of in the swamp. I think that would have been too much, I guess, too big for Classified to try to do. But I think you could have reused it for Once a Man Cobra Commander, that big clam as well. I don't know. It's just me. But I think there's some opportunity with her, definitely, that I would like to see. But I do love her. I think she really looks cool. Um, and I do love all the detail they put into her. Um, so she's running, she's doing her thing, infiltrating Cobra and trying to get to Serpentor to leave him the message. Another item I would have liked to have gotten in here with her would be a holographic BET projection of the BET broadcast energy transmitter. To show Serpentor. I think that would have been a cool accessory as well. Some of the other accessories, like the gem of that size, I think we could have skipped that, maybe gave that to somebody else, and maybe we could have got the 3D broadcast energy transmitter, because that's a specific thing in the entire movie, and it's used quite often. So it's a MacGuffin in the entire movie, and I think it would have been cool to showcase that. Maybe they'll include it with Globulus if we get a Globulus, which is pretty much we're going to get a Globulus. It's like, come on, right? It's just a matter of how are they going to present Globulus is basically it's one of those situations, right? they're going to include the big pod, the flexible tail, have the body removable and plug into it? Or do you think the tail will spiral and go inside the pod? He'll have that little stick with the worm, probably do something with it, BET. I don't know if he would have a throne or anything like that. I'm trying to think of what else he could come with. Maybe he would come with the pod that transforms people. We could show that because he puts that in Cobra Commander's face to transform it into a snake creature. So things like that. Maybe he would come with, because we haven't gotten some of that stuff yet with the Cobra Law faction figures, Nemesis Immortal, Once a Man Cobra Commander, and now Pythona and the Royal Guard. The Royal Guard is more based on his troop aspect with all of his weapons and his gear and stuff, and the interchangeable heads and helmets and wings and things like that. So that one's a little bit more in the troop aspect of the Royal Guard. But I think if they're going to do Globulus, they're going to have to include some of the other stuff. They're definitely going to have to give them that spore pod. They're definitely going to have to do something with the holographic BET projection, the worm stick, and the pod and his tail. But I am all in on Globulus, the detail and the color that they're probably going to show with him. And I hope the packaging is a really large package like Serpentor's package, and it opens up and you see the whole like Cobra La behind it and everything like that. I think with the John Jiang artwork that they've been doing with these packaging, I can't imagine what that, it's going to be phenomenal. John Jiang has done such a stellar job with these packages. It's probably one of my favorite packaging artist designers in the classified line. And he did some weird characters, like he did Barbecue and he did Falcon and stuff like that, some odd characters prior to doing Cobra La. But I think he's really come into his own with Cobra La, which I'm very happy about. So I would say this is probably a practically 10 figure. Just a couple accessory things that I would have given her, in my opinion. That's the only problem I'm having with this. The figure itself is perfect. A lot of the other stuff is perfect. The interchangeable modulability, playability is perfect. I just think some of the accessories should be a little bit exchanged and changed out for her, but that's about it. But I love it. I think she's fantastic. One of the best figures of the year, and I will stand by that, regardless if you like Cobra La or you don't. I like fantasy, and I like the sci-fi fantasy world that G.I. Joe built with a lot of this stuff. And you got to realize with Sunbow cartoons, they really go far out with a lot of this stuff. Some of the storylines and stuff like that. The interesting thing about the fact that they're doing all these Cobra La figures, what else do you think we could get? We're getting dinosaurs. We're getting really cool bounty hunters. We're finally getting into the zombies, which I really want to get into, with the mole rats, and Airtight is finally coming out. And we know that there's a Toxo zombie coming out. We know that there's been rumors of the Fatal Fluffy is coming out. So what other cool monsters and creatures would you guys want to see? There's so much stuff. I want to see the Manimals. I want to see the Venomous Maximus. I want to see, all this stuff. The fantasy stuff, because the sci-fi science, the fringe science that Dr. Mindbender uses and Dr. Venom uses and several other scientists, Dr. Knox uses, is just so awesome. The things that they're doing with all this stuff. Now we have Dr. Rotclaw with his Deinonychus dinosaurs, which I was shocked. I thought that was just a rumor, but we got it. So all these rumors that we've been hearing about, the possibilities of Tomb Raider, Fatal Fluffies, Toxo Zombies, all that stuff is probably going to come out. Hooded Cobra Commander, Extra Deluxe is all coming out. I would almost guarantee it now, because a lot of the other stuff that we thought was rumors are not rumors. They all came out. So we're having a very good result to that. And I'm looking forward to a lot of that stuff in the future. I'd like to hear what you guys have to say about all that stuff. We have our next video is another banger video in line with the last three videos. We just keep going to go as awesome as we can. It's a double video. We're getting a 2-pack in the next one. It adds to another faction of the G.I. Joe brand, and we get a third version of another character in this 2-pack. And it also has to do with the G.I. Joe movie. If you can figure out all those clues, then you'll know what our next video is going to be about. I want to see the 90s aliens, the Space Force fight. I can't wait to see what Lenny does with rumored Fatal Fluffy Monster. I see it as a total horror. Yeah, I want to see Lobotomax and all those guys from the aliens that came in the 90s. I can't imagine what they would do. That just based on Cobra La, God, it would just be incredible to see what some of those guys look like. 13, Evil Dookie, 13 watching, 4 likes. Math ain't matching. Small. Smash that like button, guys. Yeah, I agree with Evil Dookie. Smash the like button. If you're in the chat and you've not subscribed, please do. We're very close to the 250 mark, and we're heading to 1,000 after that. So Lobotomax, I think that's it. It couldn't. I couldn't remember the name. Yeah, there's 3 of them. There's Piranha something or other, Lobotomax, and then there's a third one. And I always focus on Lobotomax because I think he's such a cool name that I'm like, wow, I just love that. But there's 3 of those guys, and I can never remember the other 2 guys' names. But I'm sure all we have to do is Google it, and it'll be first. You smashed it, and you can too. There you go. Thank you very much, everybody in the chat. Smash the like button. Thank you very much. I got like 140 views on my my Striker video on Monday nights. So Monday nights I do really well with views and subscribers and likes and all that stuff. But I guess the morning ones are a little tougher because people are just waking up, and the time zone difference doesn't help either because when I start these around 10, it's 7 o'clock in the morning. Not everybody's up and moving yet by the time I start these videos. So I understand if people aren't cognizant of that yet. But you know, maybe they can go back and watch it in the replay and click it then and stuff like that. It'll in the analytics later on as we go. So whatever you guys can do, I appreciate it. It's very helpful. But thank you, Evil Dookie, for helping me out with that. So let's see, what else do we got? There's not much news right now, but we can cover this, the Senflo Joe show. Can't cover this, and this is in April, on the 19th of April in Central Florida. If you guys are in the southern Georgia, southern Alabama, and anywhere in Florida, and you would like to have a wonderful G.I. Joe experience, please come on down to Central Florida, Deltona, the center at Deltona, and join me and join a huge group of G.I. Joe alumni with Mark Pennington, designer of the G.I. Joe brand, 87 to 89, and a comic book artist in his own right for the Path Cross-Gen Comics, and Adam Riches, designer and package artist and comic book artist, Jason Mark Sobel, another comic book artist, Matt LaCroix, toy designer, Strike Force Alpha, figure painter, did Fumbles last year at Joe Fest, Roger Taft, author of After Action Report. He did 7 or 8 different books about G.I. Joe toys and comics and cartoons and the history of the brand. Awesome stuff. And then the comic book company, Rising Sun Publishing, with Hawk Saunders, who have a whole bunch of new comics for you guys to purchase and items in the G.I. Joe world. Through with their CTE and the Millerverse and a whole bunch of other fun stuff coming up. And then we also have the finest G.I. Joe costuming organization. So if you want to dress up and your costume, your best G.I. Joe costume. Come out, join the finest, take pictures, and get sketches, get your comics signed by some great artists and stuff like that, and have a good time. And on top of that, buy tons of vintage toys at the show with all kinds of vendors, comic book vendors, vintage toy vendors, Star Wars, G.I. Joe, Transformers, Max, Superhawks, Thundercats, you name it, it'll be there. And it'll be around spring break time. So come on out for a week. Enjoy the beaches. Enjoy a SpaceX launch. Go to Disney. Go to Universal Epic Lands. There's so much stuff to do. And come on down on April 19th to the G.I. Joe Central Flow Joe Show. And say hello to me and say hi to Joe Fest. Ed Schumacher will be there. And it's just going to be a fantastic event and just hanging out with a bunch of my friends. So I hope you can join us. Let's see. It says shoveling break. What's up, everybody? Oh, Woody, God, I heard that you have to have like 2 forms of identification in New York to shovel snow. Did you hear that, Woody? Isn't that stupid? Oh my God. Dookie, you're so lucky you moved. Oh man, did he move? Where'd you move, Dookie? Did you move to Florida? That'd be cool. You can come to the Senflo Joe show if you did. A lot of folks can't tune in at work like I can, but hopefully the Monday shows will grow the replay squad for the morning. There you go. That's a good idea. Morning show, Dave. I know a lot of us are talking your channel up on different shows. Well, thank you very much. That really means a lot to me, 610 Yojo Daddy. I really appreciate it because you guys are making this channel what it is. I've said it many times. It would be a boring channel if you just listen to me all day long. You guys are the ones that make this channel what it is, that I can talk to you. You can add to the conversation. You can ask me questions. I can answer your questions. You can help me out with some of the stuff because I can't remember some things sometimes, and you guys help me out. It's a two-way street with this. It's just not me. If I could put 100 people on this video with me, I would do so. I would share the link and have everybody join me, but it just doesn't work that way. I can do a couple people here and there, but that's why the chat is the most important thing. Woody, blow that snow for this former or northerner. Oh wow. Woody, I was wondering if you got a dugout yet. Dug out yet. 38.8 inches. Dookie blows blizzard of 78 out of the window by 10 inches. Wow, that's really cool. Snowblower. My cul-de-sac ain't blowed yet. Still stuck in the crib. Hey, I would prefer to stay in my crib. To be honest. Damn, Woody. At least you can play with your Joes, Turtles, and Transformers, Woody. Get some snow shots of the blow job. Whoops, I meant snow job. Oh my God, that is funny. 610. Dave, no, I am originally from near Woody. I moved to North Carolina when I retired from the Army. Ah, okay, Evil Dookie. That's fine. North Carolina's got interesting history. In the 90s, it was really I'm going to be careful what I say there, but it wasn't very good because I would go up there for Heroes Con every year for many years. But then when your new governor, I think, what is his name? He's got the same name as that psych, right? Not Richard Hatch or Richard something. And he fixed it and he did a really good job with North Carolina. It's not 100%, but I think he ended up cheating on his wife who had cancer, the governor. And then now they got a new governor there, if I'm not mistaken. And I like North Carolina. I think it's a nice place. That does suck though, Woody. Hope it gets better soon. We're getting 6 more inches Friday. Holy smokes! Yeah, I don't miss my New England days. I loved it when I was a child. I would dig out forts and have fun sledding up in the mountains and stuff of New Hampshire, and I really enjoyed going out in the snow and stuff. I enjoyed digging the snow out for my dad going to work and stuff like that. But as an adult, I don't know if I would enjoy it as much. But as a child, I enjoyed it quite a bit. Um, let's see. I got Mad Joe's to open, so I'm good. Yeah, I bet he does. Have you been going to all the WalMarts, getting all the Joes, the Royal Guards, Woody? Are you opening all those? Um, let's see. What does it say? Yes. Noah is fun when you're a kid. Snow is fun when you're a kid, but when you're an adult, it sucks. Sorry, Woody. Hello, new here. Used to have a suitcase full of Joes as a kid and realized this past Friday that G.I. Joe Classified exists. Couldn't help myself and bought 5 card backs. Am I too late for this? No, you're definitely not. Eluel. There's one of our guys on here. I helped him start getting classified. He started with vintage package, retro package. So there's only like 28, maybe 31 altogether right now. LUL. So start small. If you want to get all of them, then start small and start in groups. So the vintage retro package is the way to start because you can get all 31 or whatever of those. And then you can go into other things. You can start by getting subgroups. You can get dreadnoughts. Then you can get the Cobra La, or you can get the Vipers, or you can get like specific groups of Joes that you like as well. So you can do Tiger Force, or you can do Python Patrol, and you can do it in groups and start with groups and do it little bite-sized bites at a time. Don't try to tackle this whole thing all at once. And go to conventions because you can get a lot of good deals at conventions. Right now, Walmart, Target, Big Bad Toy Store, Amazon, there's a lot of sales going on. So you can get a lot of stuff in sales as well. So if you get something really cheap, under $10 or $15, grab that because it's going to be harder to get later on. All right. So there's a little bit of help. Snow. Yep. I got you. 610 Yojo Daddy. Welcome, Elia. You're not too late, but it will be expensive going back. Yeah, I will. Just take it bite-sized chunks at a time. Don't go too fast and don't overwhelm yourself. And if you're in the Florida area, come on down to the Flo Joe show. There's going to be tons of classified G.I. Joes at that show. They may be really, really reasonable prices. Just to give you a bit of a wink wink hint at some of the stuff that I'll be selling, you're going to be hooked. They are great figures. Yep, definitely. Evil Dookie. 610 Yojo Daddy. So addictive from this completionist. Yeah, they are. You know, the FOMO is real. The completionist aspect of this is real. But it's a little bit frustrating too, as well. So I'm hoping everybody's getting their Royal Guards at Target and they're getting their new wave of figures. I showcased these guys yesterday on my video, but I'll show them again. I'm starting to get my new wave in. I'm waiting for today with my other 3 figures. I'll show them off on my next video if they do come in today. The Big Lob, the Mole Rats Stage 2 and Hit and Run. So hopefully they'll be here today or tomorrow. And then the folks that are getting the Royal Guards, congratulations on you. Woody, I'm sure he got like 60 Royal Guards, if I'm not mistaken. Is that why you said you had mad figures to open, Woody, today? That's a lot. I don't know where you find the room for this stuff, Woody. I'm having a hard time trying to create spaces to put little stands to put more figures. It's like this entire space in front of my computer on both sides is covered with figures, and you see this big display behind me. The thing is covered with figures and vehicles and stuff like that. And then I had to create space behind this wall here for two more stands for the next like 30 figures that are coming that I haven't opened yet and that we've started to get in. So it's interesting. There's plenty of time to catch up. Oh, yeah, there's plenty of time. Although there's going to be a lot coming out this year. So don't get overwhelmed, Elia. Alia. Okay. I didn't start collecting classified until May 14th of 2024. Now I have over 200 figures, continuing classified with Action Force. Oh, okay. Ultramention. You're getting the Action Force stuff. Are you getting the Monster Force? Are you getting the Big Bad Toy Store? A lot of their studio stuff as well. Did you get Bulletproof from Cops? What else? 6-inch figures out there. It's a lot. I want to open them so bad. Can I open the box versions without ruining the packaging? Yes, you can. Thanks for the encouragement. I'm the type that needs the whole set when I start collecting. Okay, well, just do it bite size. Try to focus on what you really want. Stick with that. And yes, you can open up the boxes and then you can put them back in their plastics and put them back in their boxes if you want to do it that way, to open them and look at them. Let's see. Yes, you can open from the bottom and they will slide out. There you go. No royal guards around here yet, but I got a lot of divers and scorpions to open. Oh, you find a lot of clearance scorpions and diver 2-packs. Very interesting. Yes, I have 12 of the Operation Monster Force figures, only picking up the ones I really like. Well, that's perfectly fine too, Ultramensch. Get what you like. I open all mine, but I'm an out-of-the-box guy, and I save all my packages in totes. Yeah, the only reason why I'm doing this series, if you started with me on this series of classified reviews, I just ran out of space to store all this stuff. So I figured, okay, it takes up less space to store the packages in totes and put them away and break them down and keep them that way than it does to keep them in my home. And then it takes up less space to have figures on stands and with their vehicles and things like that. So this whole series was an attempt to reduce my space and keep collecting. So now I have 2 of each. One set is open and the packages are stored away in totes like 610 Yojo Daddy, and then I keep one set mint and box opened in different places, stored away as well. So it's interesting. But everybody collects differently, so it's fine. Woody, you should be outside with those snow serpents. Hell of a video could be done. Yeah, there's a lot of snow characters if you want to do the dioramas before you get your Snowcat and your Arctic Assault Hiss. There's like Arctic Storm Shadow. There's that kind of Arctic Snake Eyes with Timber. There's the Arctic Bats. There's Snow Job, Snow Serpent 1, Snow Serpent 2. Who else am I missing? I'm missing somebody. I don't know who it is. You could also do the polar bear. You could also do the snake armor. All that stuff in Sunbow was in the Arctic scene, so you could use that as well. So there's a lot of snow diorama stuff you could do if you wanted to. Snow Job, haha. Yeah, Snow Job, yep. Definitely Snow Job. Right now, Snow Job, Snake Eyes, I guess Arctic Storm Shadow are really your only Joes for Arctic, if I'm not mistaken. And then you've got the Snow Serpent 2, the Snake Armor, the Polar Bear, the Arctic Bats. So there's a lot of bad guys or antagonists that you could face. You could do the whole cave photography, put snake armors on the inside of the cave and have snake eyes trapped in there, getting the elements and getting some of those crystals and stuff like that. If you want for photography purposes, Walmart, you can go there and they have little bags of like different crystals that are plastic, and you can buy those and you can make those your energon crystals in that scene. And you can come up with a little plexiglass and paint it with see-through a spray paint or whatever, and it could be like the doors that came down that trapped him back there, and he could have his canister. You could have the polar bear outside the cave, growling, or grizzly, going after Joe's and Snow Job and him, trying to save him and stuff like that. And then you can have all the snake armors inside that cave. You could make a whole cave sequence. See, I have a great imagination, but I don't have the technical ability to make all that stuff. I have a walk-in closet, stacked empty boxes and figures everywhere but the bathroom, which eventually will happen. Wow, Ultra. You should break the boxes down and flatten them, and you can still save them and put them in totes. And I just put them like by like groups, like tens, 1 to 10, and then so on. And then I have them all in order. So up to where we are now, I've been boxing them all up and I've been putting them in totes so they're in order. You can break them down that way, unless it's a special box like a Serpentor box or a Dr. Mindbender box or a Chuckles box or a Zartan box. I kept them intact, but all the other ones could be broken and flattened down, so you can save a lot of space. Arctic bats, now that's something I don't know if you want to put too many Arctic bats outside, because they're very, very valuable, the Arctic bats. That's going to be one of the hardest figures for you to get is an Arctic bat, because they did not make a lot of Arctic bats. People are still waiting on their Arctic bats from Big Bad Toy Store and Entertainment Earth. So that's a tricky one. Are the retro card backs considered less than the box versions? It seems they are reproductions of already released box versions. In certain cases, yes. In certain cases, no. Like if you look at Zap, there was no other Zap figure. So that's the first Zap we got. The female Crimson Guard, that's the first Crimson Guard version of the female Crimson Guard that we've got. We've never gotten her in any other version. The Crazy Legs in his vintage deco from the original figure, that's the first version we ever got of that. We got Crazy Legs as a Night Force version with the HasLab Dragonfly. So every figure, there's a different deco. Like the Gung Ho, that's a completely new deco of Gung Ho, and that's 100% distinct, right? The Baroness, the Lady J, the colors are slightly different, and you could probably live without them if you wanted to. The same with Destro, the same with Storm Shadow, the same with Zartan. All those decos are just slight differences from the mainline versions of those characters. You could probably live without them. The Snake Eyes is a 100% new version of that Snake Eyes, vintage version of that Snake Eyes. Yes, we got 15 Snake Eyeses, but that one is the most original OG 13 Snake Eyes, so it's the most sought after of the Snake Eyes figures, in my opinion. Other characters like Snow Serpent, the Eels, Televiper, Stalker, are redecos. The Recondo is the original vintage version of Recondo in that deco. They did not do him in the main line like that. They did a Tiger Force Recondo, but they didn't do the mainline Recondo. So that's the only version of Recondo you'll get in the main line of his original costume, in his original uniform. Flint is a redeco. Scarlet and Duke in their vintage OG versions and 84 versions, those are the only versions of those two characters that they've done in those decos. They did earlier versions Duke and Scarlet in the Operation Blackout, and then the movie and Tiger Force with Duke, but they were not their vintage versions. So the vintage Duke and Scarlet are the classic decos of those characters. Who else? Who else am I thinking of? Dr. Mindbender is a redeco. The Viper is a redeco, closer to their vintage versions. Who else? What am I thinking? Trying to think of all the vintage package versions. If you guys can add into the chat some that I've missed to help out Elia, that would be helpful. So it's a mixed bag. It's a mixed bag with the retro carded ones, and the early ones are a lot more flimsier. And the packaging is a lot flimsier. When they were put at Walmart, there were a lot of damaged packages. So trying to get a good package for those is very difficult. I just sold 3 of them to Gunpowder Nitro, and I sold them I think it was a Destro Gung Ho and a Crimson Guard. I still have a Lady J, Baroness, and another Crimson Guard, Rakondo, and a whole bunch of other ones that I have triples of. That if you're interested in buying a whole bunch of them all at once, Alia, I'd be interested. I would be willing to help you out. And I sold the ones to Gunpowder Nitro very reasonably. He was very happy with the prices he got and stuff like that. So I have a bunch of them. If you want to buy a bunch all at once to help you, I do have a lot of them. But you said you just got about 20 of those, I think, right? The 610 Yojo Day. The retro card backs are an extension of the line that started early, intended to be closer to the original vintage. Oh yeah, yep, that's 100% correct on that. Alia, so exciting. I feel like I'm reliving my childhood, except with a job, LOL. Can you imagine Joe's used to cost like $1.98? That's exactly right. I could buy 2 vintage G.I. Joes in the 80s, the early 80s, from 82 to like 86 for like $3. Yeah, Joe's was so cheap back then. You're 100% on that. Elia, I actually would be interested. Thank you for the offer. So if you're interested in buying a bunch of retro vintage package, contact me on Facebook Messenger. My name is David T. Allen. You can search me out there, send me a message, and I can show you some pictures and stuff like that. I was going to sell a lot of this stuff at my Senflow Joe show, but I can sell them to you as well and give you a really decent price. I already sold 3 to Gunpowder Nitro, so I'm sorry that I don't have those as well, but I do have a lot of triples still of the later ones, and then I have 3 of the Walmart ones: the Crimson Guard, Baroness, and Lady J. So there you go. So hopefully that helps you out. Elia, and thank you very much for joining us in the chat today. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit that notification, join us in the future for our future episodes. We cover a lot of information, news in these videos, not only classified reviews, we cover comic book news. We also do fun top 10 lists during anniversary episodes, and I get different people to join me in the videos that are in the chat, like 610 has joined me, Woody has joined me, Same Time Toys has joined me. So I would like to get some of you other guys to join me in videos in upcoming anniversary episodes. If you're interested in joining me in a future episode, contact me through IM me at David T. Allen on Facebook Messenger. All right, already done, sir. Wonderful, wonderful. So what else is going on? If you're in the Florida area and you want to come to the G.I. Joe convention, come join us at the Senflow Joe show, April 19th here in Deltona, Florida area as well. If you're in the southern Georgia, southern Alabama area as well. Let's see what else is going on. I think that's going to cover us for this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed this deep dive into Pythona. I'm going to have to do a follow-up because I want to show that Devil's Due comic, and I also want to show those preliminary sketches of Pythona that never got made as a figure. I should have had those. I thought it was in this issue, but it wasn't. It's in another issue, I guess. I'll show those. So there's going to be a follow up to this Pythona video. Probably in our next video, I'll just add that stuff to it. Sometimes I do stuff over each video, so I might cover something like the police officer, but then I covered his O-ring version later because I didn't have the pictures ready for that video. So that's the fun thing about these. You never know what's going to happen in these videos. I plan and I try my best, but sometimes things happen. So I look forward to seeing you guys in our next video. Like I said, it's going to be a 2-pack, and it's going to delve into another faction of the G.I. Joe brand, and one new character and one third redeco of another character. So this is a big Cobra La video, I would say. So we're going to go with Cobra La 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 La. Thank you guys for joining me in the chat. Thank you everybody after the fact for joining me and joining me in that replay crew and commenting and adding to the chat. I really appreciate it. Share these videos. That's the #1 thing you can do to help this channel grow. Thanks a lot. We'll see you in the next one.